Hi divas, welcome back. Welcome back to Coffee Talk. Sunshine, come here. Say hi to the people. Come here. An unfiltered, unedited series where the two of us are just chitty-chatting up in the kitchen as friends. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute since I filmed, but Sunshine has been super lovey the last couple of days. We have had a heat wave here in New York, so I am again drinking cold brew with oat milk. I feel like this is going to be a theme until it cools down again, and then maybe I'll diversify, right? There we go. You'll keep seeing her tail probably. Cheers. So like I was saying, we're having this crazy heat wave in New York right now when I'm filming this. And day one, I had no air conditioning in my living space. Day two, I had air conditioning, except it kept trading to be auto instead of cool, which was not working. And I think I finally cracked the code today. So hopefully I can get some rest. It won't be too hot. And yeah, it feels like triple digits outside. So I'm happy to be here today. Here today in the AC, drinking cold drinks, eating cold food, staying nice and cool. I know some of you guys watching out there also have chronic illness, and I don't know if it's everybody or if it's just me, but every summer I feel like the heat really, really affects me. Really affects me. And in a negative way. I think that even before I caught COVID, I feel like my body was not built for heat. I remember being a little kid in the summer and just feeling like sticky and uncomfortable and just like not loving the heat anyway. And now of course it's only gotten worse because temperature intolerance is a real thing with these sort of sensitive systems that you get when you have are dealing with a chronic illness. That coffee is delightful. Ooh, that's not okay there. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, besides that it's hot as heck here, although I have to say, the one thing about living in New York is that, like, when you're going out in the park, like, there's always an ice cream truck roaming around, and, like, they do special programs where they'll turn on fountains that kids can play in and cool down. And I don't know if it's official or not, but at least in my neighborhood, a lot of times fire hydrants will get turned on to cool down the pavement. So there's ways to beat the heat, and I feel like New York City has a lot that's really, really good for people when it's really hot out. They also have cooling stations around the city that you can stop into, and everybody's typically really kind. If you stop in and ask for a glass of ice water, they just give it to you. It's not like they make you buy something or anything. Except at Starbucks, which I think is rude and possibly illegal. I walked into a Starbucks the other day and I asked for some ice water, and they were like, well, you need to buy something. Another reason to dislike Starbucks, add it to my list. I'm not a Starbucks fan. I will always opt for somewhere local instead. But yeah, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was so recently I took another load. By the way, there is another video coming of my seasonal clothing switcheroo. Stay tuned. But at the end of that video, I had a big try-on pile, and I wound up finding some things to declutter. So I took that declutter pile to the consignment store in Brooklyn that I love. It's like my personal Disneyland. And as I was there, I basically traded the full amount that I brought in. It was fewer items that I left with, but I felt really like defeated with myself walking out, because I got back to the car and I was like, you know, did you really need any of this? Like, this is, you know, I felt defeated, right? I felt like, even though like individually the items that I got I'm really pleased with, and like they are little holes in my wardrobe or things that I really can see myself wearing to the office, out and about. I have like concrete scenarios. I felt that feeling like my old habits haven't changed, and I haven't improved. I haven't gotten better. And I started doing that thing where I like started believing that like I've made that because of like one small thing that I've made like no progress at all, which isn't true. It's a lie. But in my head, I'm thinking, I cannot believe that you're literally, do you see her? Wait, right there. You're just like hiding out of sight. I feel like that's kind of rude. It's her house. I'm just living in it. So I did the thing where I was like, I've made no progress. I am the same. I'm going backwards. Everything is bad. My whole house is clutter, blah, blah, blah. And so I like wanted to take a little bit and really like think about it and really be honest and like critical but not harsh, and like concretely think about the ways in which I've changed in terms of like consumerism and buying things, and like active steps that I'm taking to work on these things. I think that probably like clothes are my weakest area. And I think that it's normal that when you come from being kind of a hyper consumer, or like a shopaholic or whatever, and you move toward like waking up from that mentality and trying to move toward more sustainable living, more like buying less and kind of keeping what you have and only acquiring or buying what you need, there's going to be like bumps in the road. And also in terms of decluttering and letting go. So I was thinking about it, and I realized that I've come like a really long way when it comes to food shopping. And in particular, since I started this new like nutrition thing that I'm on, I am, yes, trying to work up on using up what I have. But I also am trying to only buy what's on my plan and what I'm eating for that week in particular. The professional that I'm working with, he was so kind in making this nutrition plan personalized for me. And he gave me so many options to choose from. And if I had bought everything to prepare all of those options, one, it wouldn't even fit in my fridge. And two, like everything would be going bad. And because there were so many, like, he wanted to make sure that I had plenty to choose from and that I had, enough variety to keep it interesting and that I don't get bored and stuff like that. But knowing myself and knowing how I work, buying, one, maybe two different types of protein for the week, and kind of preparing things in advance, and just trying to buy what I need and kind of keep it more minimalistic, so I don't get overwhelmed. Like, that actually serves me. And so that has actually, even though initially I would kind of go with what's on sale and be like, oh, there's a coupon for this or this, that, and the other thing, it actually gets me to spend less money, and it actually, like, sticking to a list and only buying, what I need, with a really rare exception, kind of keeps me decluttered in my fridge as well. It's not perfect, definitely not, but it's a lot better, and I feel like I've definitely made progress in that area, especially since April was here 10 months ago. Hope you're okay. Anyway, in terms of makeup, makeup is another one. I would see something at the drugstore and kind of impulsively be like, ooh, shiny, interesting, I have a coupon. And I think now the only product that I am purchasing is mascara, because mascara, I don't know if you know, but you really should be replacing it every 3 months. I sometimes push mine to like 4 or 5 months. If you do not replace it, you are at risk for sure of an eye infection. I replace it. I'll sometimes add, there's a trick. If your mascara dries out for some reason, you can add eye drops, like 1 or 2 eye drops to re-moisten it. I've done that once or twice, but for the most part, if it dries out, or, every 3 or 4 or 5 months, I replace it. And I did actually, when April left, I found that I had a back stock of my favorite mascara, and I have been working my way through that. But other than that, in terms of eyeliner, in terms of eyeshadow, in terms of brushes, in terms of all this stuff that I would occasionally like throw in my cart as an impulse purchase, I don't do that anymore, because one, I know where these things are and I know that I have plenty. Two, I am taking better care of my things now. So before, it's not that I would like, I think I would lose track of where things were, and so I wouldn't feel the impulse to take care of what I have. I would feel the impulse more to just like grab another 99-cent makeup brush. Now it's like, oh, my makeup brushes are getting dirty, girlfriend, better wash them. And all you need to wash them is a little bit of dish soap and water, and then like swish them around and dry them out. It's like, it's not hard, it's not complicated. And I feel like before I got completely overwhelmed, I was taking good care of my items. I cared about my items. I wasn't intending to trash my items. The things that I own, I intended to give them reverence and respect. But like, at the same time, at that point, I was so physically unwell and I was so overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that things were falling into disrepair. Makeup brushes were getting dirty. I didn't know where things were. There was just so much that I felt like I wasn't able to do as good of a job of taking care of what I actually do own, fixing things, using things as I have them. And so yeah, that was a big one. That was a big category. I've had like a couple of little things here and there that I've bought. I stumbled upon, but it was more situational. I bought a set of like super skinny eyeliners. I think I used them in one of my get readies on this channel. But that was because I stumbled upon a Korean beauty store and I texted April immediately and I was like, you're never gonna guess what I found. And they had these like super duper skinny, like needle thin eyeliners. And so I got a brown one and a black one to try, and I've really been enjoying using them. So it, But other than that, I really have not purchased any makeup. You know what? Actually, I impulse purchased a couple of nail polishes. That is true. I impulse purchased a couple of nail polishes online from that brand that I love YouTube. This is one of the reasons why I've loved starting my own YouTube channel, is because I've always loved watching YouTube. And I used to watch Simply Nail Logical. I don't know if you remember her. She was friends with Jenna Marbles, who's also one of my favorite YouTubers. She decided to leave the internet in 2020, and she is not coming back. And I miss her. I love all her old content, but I am happy that she did that for her mental health. Anyway, Simply Nail Logical was a Canadian YouTuber who did like nail art and nail tutorials, and she created her own makeup or nail polish line, and I had never purchased anything from it before, and I like saw an ad that things were being discontinued, and I unfortunately that got me that things were going away forever, and so I impulse purchased some of those things. But I am wearing one of those nail polishes today, so I am using what I have and having what I use, I guess. I'm also like, I've always, in terms of my clothes, and I've always sort of thought about getting things tailored, getting things fixed. I actually just gave away a pair of shorts that I had tailored, and like, but they were just too big to take in anymore. And I love getting things altered and tailored so that they fit perfectly, especially if your weight fluctuates. It's a way to save money. It's a way to honor what you have. And, you know, if you have a piece that you really like, you can just either like nip the waist in or let it out or hem it up. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn on my do not disturb here. Apologize for that. It's one of the ways that you know, you can take care of what you already own and lean into that more like anti-consumer mindset, because I feel like, I mean, there's so many people whose jobs it is to get you to spend money on stuff, whether you need it or not, or make you think that there's a problem that needs solving and you need to spend money for it. And so I feel like using a tailor, using a cobbler, using, you know, going to like crafts people to help you fix what you own is one of the ways to like fight that whole industry and stop creating as much trash and stop contributing to why it is so dang hot right now, and the climate and the earth and everything going wrong. I can't go there, otherwise I start spiraling. But it helps, right? Every little bit helps. So yeah, going to like taking things to a tailor. I've always wanted to do that, and I've always done that here and there, but I'm thinking more critically about that now, especially as I bring items in. And the last thing is, now that I have departments for things that April created, and I like know more of what things are and where they live, I can envision better in my mind what I already own. And so when I'm buying something new or thinking about going to the candle store or something, I'm like, you could go to the candle store and buy a candle, Julia, but where are you going to put it? Is there room in the candle department? No. Okay, Julia, like, I hear you that you want to try this sample size of this perfume, but where are you going to put it? There's no room in the sample box. There's no room on the perfume shelf. Gonna have to hold off or use one up or whatever. And same thing with clothes, you know. My closets after that switcheroo are pretty like jam-packed. So when I'm thinking about acquiring new clothes, I'm like, girlfriend, you can think about acquiring new clothes, but where are you gonna put them? And so having that going in my mind, where before the declutter, it was really an abstract concept because there was no place for things. Like, Oh, I'll just hang it on the back of the bedroom door. I'll just hang it off of my shoe rack. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'll find a spot for it. Now it's like the last time you tried to open your dress closet, it was pretty full. So, what are we thinking here? What are we doing? And yeah, sometimes I'll squeeze one more in there, and sometimes I'm like, I really should go through this and do a declutter. The other video I've been thinking about doing for you guys is like a try-on type situation where I like try on all the skirts that I own. I try on all of the like dresses might be too long because I have a lot of dresses. All of the blouses that I own, I try on my pants. Pants feels a little vulnerable. I don't know about pants because some of those might not button. We'll have to see on that. I felt like the last month or two, no, basically like from leaving to go to Europe to now, I felt like I've gained like a couple of pounds here. So I don't know about the whole pants situation. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, I kind of wanted to, because it's been really heavy on my mind the last week, thinking about how I've changed, if I've changed. I feel like I've changed in the last year or two, and I kind of just wanted to talk about it with you guys. You'll have to let me know your thoughts and feelings about that. If you think you've changed, if you think I've changed, how you think about consuming and fixing and buying and all that stuff. Because like I used to be so opposed to grocery delivery because I'm like, well, I need to go to this store for this thing and this store for this thing because I'm very like particular. But now I would rather pay a delivery fee and not go outside my list. Because going outside my list is where the impulse spending happens, and like that's where kind of more like damage is done or whatever. I feel like I'll always still like make the trek to a Trader Joe's because they don't do delivery, and they have some like really awesome things that I really enjoy eating and drinking at that store, and their flowers are so beautiful, and they're affordable. But other than Trader Joe's, really, it's like I'm more on team delivery now, because it keeps me. It's like I would rather pay whatever the delivery fee, and not risk kind of getting way off track, and just kind of like sticking to my list, sticking to my plan. I feel like that saves me money, even if chicken is on sale at a different store, or even if this other thing is buy one get one free at a different whatever. It's like by pinching pennies, I'm like losing time, I'm losing a lot more. So that's kind of where my head's at. I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe I just need more willpower, more discipline, whatever, and to just knuckle down and do my grocery shopping in person. But that's kind of what I've been thinking more of lately, because it's like I just don't want to get sidetracked. Speaking of getting sidetracked, where has this conversation gone? You know me. I know you know me. But yeah, I just got back. I've done more traveling in the last 6 weeks than I've done in 6 years, no lie. So I got back from Paris. I had like a month to try to knuckle down, find my routine. Still haven't found it, working on it. And then my grandfather was being honored at this. I'm like looking for the thingy. Oh, it's over there. I can't get it. Doesn't matter. My grandfather, who passed away when my dad was only 4, he was a World War II naval hero. He ordered the first defensive shots when Pearl Harbor happened. he was lookout that day, and he realized what was happening, and he anyway, he was an amazing man. He was also a Francophile who spoke French. He loved animals. There are photos of him stationed up in Alaska, with like a big like golden eagle on his shoulder, and he was also up there. There was like a big half wolf, half German Shepherd dog that he helped take care of, and he would like roughhouse with. And he also had a big cat named Smokey that used to like be just draped around him like a scarf. He loved animals. Anyway, he was an amazing man. I wish I had the opportunity to meet him. Anyway, he was being honored in my parents' town, which is a big Navy town. And he was being given a banner. And so I wanted to make sure that for my dad and his older sister, my aunt, who is 92, that I flew and was there for that ceremony. And like, it was so special. I don't know why I'm so emotional. I never met the man, but I do feel very like connected to him. So it was really special, like kind of getting to hear all of these amazing stories about these wonderful men and women who really like lay their lives out there on the line, and like hearing about people navigating, saving their fellow man in these situations of like combat and near death. And like there was a total of I think 8 who were honored in that ceremony, and getting to learn more about my grandfather was like so special. I do it and I really am so glad that I went. But I tell you what, all that travel, it's like I just sort of like dumped out my suitcase and like called it good. I've not fully put everything away yet. I don't feel like everything is put back together. I feel a little still jet lagged and sort of discombobulated from, even though it was only 3 days, the time change and I think the weather change and everything. So I'm kind of looking forward to the next few weeks of just laying low, trying to get back into a routine, trying to do some resetting and maybe some decluttering as well. It doesn't feel out of control. It actually feels good. It feels fine, but it's just one of those things where, especially when you're dealing with like energy limitations and feeling like a bit of overwhelm and just discombobulated. It's, I keep telling people, because people keep asking me, that I'm like 75% better, but even 75% better, it's like sometimes I forget that I still need to be thinking about how I use my energy, how I live my life, and I still feel limited in a lot of ways, sensitive, limited. I wish that I was, the Energizer bunny that like my spirit feels like it wants to be, and just can run around New York City like I used to, but I still feel a bit limited. I still feel like I don't know, like there's just still have to navigate that 25% of fatigue and chronic pain, and just being more sensitive than the average person to things like weather and hydration and running around and being out of the house and all that stuff. Some people have asked me if like I've always been a little sensitive about things like that, and I've always been a little sensitive about other people and like to other people's energy, and like if somebody's in a bad mood, like I can feel it right away. And it like definitely like wears on me. I know a lot of people call that being an empath. I think that word is so like overused and annoying now that I don't like saying it. But I've definitely always been a little bit sensitive. As I mentioned earlier, even when I was a little kid, I didn't like the heat very much, but it was never the way that it is now, for me. And I think I've always been somebody who kind of at the end of the day needs to sort of like tuck in and recharge a little bit. But I've always been and I think I've always been a little bit shy as well, with new people, with other people. But I was never really awkward. I never really had issues with, you know, going into social situations. I never really found it as draining before as sometimes I do now. And being outside, traveling, exploring, like being out and about, like I always actually found that very exhilarating, and like it would almost like give me more energy, like being out and like running errands, and like being out and, you know, having stuff to do and having responsibilities and stuff. That actually used to sort of like feed my fire. And now, unfortunately, as much as it sort of like feeds my like mental and like emotional self, I get physically very depleted, and it's annoying. Because I wish, like, I love walking around like the East Village and Union Square and you know, not Midtown, but the cool neighborhoods in New York. I love walking around and exploring and seeing what's there, and I like wish that I could spend a whole day doing that. But the truth is that if even just several hours, I get like super tired and need to put my feet up and rest. I am getting stronger all the time, and like people keep asking me, you know, are you better? Are you doing better? And I keep having to say, I'm 75% better, doing better than I was before, you know. And then everybody says, well, you look better. So, and I don't know how to take that. I guess as a compliment. Because better is good, right? So I must have looked terrible before. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, I put up my Paris vlog, and like YouTube like made sure to let me know special that nobody's been watching it. But the people who have been watching it have been leaving really kind, interesting comments, and I'm really, really grateful. So thank you so much to those of you who have watched it. If you haven't watched it, I spent like 8 hours editing that, so please watch it. I worked really hard. And let me know more of like what you'd like to see. I hope you guys like this catch up coffee talk. If you like this video, like the video. If you have thoughts or feelings, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. If you want more people to see my channel and more people to see this video, go ahead and give it a hype. I know my dad mentioned he didn't know how to do that. So if you're on your phone watching, where the comments are, you swipe to the side and then you'll see a little button with like a star and it says hype, and you can do that. And it helps, YouTube rewards that by showing more people those videos who have gotten a lot of hype. Oh, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We have passed 8,000 subscribers. Yay. And we're on the road to 9,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. There's a lot of cool stuff coming really soon on the channel. Thanks again for your patience and for riding with me as I get into this new routine, this new era of life, and adjust and whatever. I'm hoping that I get more in a rhythm here really soon, and that the algorithm starts remembering who I am again. And I think that's it, pretty much. Also, let me know what coffee you were drinking today. And if you made it to the end of the video, drop your favorite emoji in the comments. I'm curious. Okay. Well, have a good rest of the day. Stay cool if you're in this heat wave too, because it's hot as heck here. And, okay, thanks, love you, bye.